Hey everybody, I'm Randy Ridings, and this is the Quadyak. Today I'm going to do the first video about the rebuild. I want to show you a part that we've built and some new material that I've bought, and the two of them kind of go together, so it made sense to put them together in one video. First, a little background. This is the rear support structure from the Quadyak, and I'll put a picture up here to show you where this goes. On either end of it there is a regular bicycle head tube and a set of forks. This is 2-inch steel hollow tubing. It's the only 2-inch steel tubing we used on the Quadyak. Everything else was 1-inch tubing for the frame. The 1-inch steel tubing is going to be replaced with this 1.5-inch aluminum. This is called Ep3 Extruded Aluminum Bar. They use this a lot in industry. It's even used for making cubicles. You can use it as a track surface to roll things around. There's bearings that go in these channels so you can slide things around. They use it for things like blast chambers in industry. So this stuff is fairly easy to get on eBay. Just go in and type in Ep3 aluminum and you'll find it. There's different sizes. This is series 15, which means 1.5. There's series 10, which is 1 inch. There's series 20, which is 2 inches. Alright, so the reason I wanted to show you this is, particularly I want you to look at this part right here. This is a head tube, a steel head tube off of a normal bike. Then it's got the bearing cups pressed into it, bearings, and then the fork tube goes up through it. It's welded to this 2-inch piece of steel. I looked for some aluminum tubing to replace this, and I didn't really like what I was finding. We wanted to go with something a little stronger. This part of Quadyak takes a lot of weight. It's the support structure across the back of it. It probably holds up most of my body weight. We wanted to make it pretty heavy duty. So locally, I found some 2-inch aluminum bar. Dad milled it out, and we still haven't cut it to length, but this piece right here will replace that head tube right there. Then all you got to do, press in your bearing cups, put in a bearing, which I have one in this one already, and there you have it. But then you need to attach it to something. That's the other reason that I made this video. Behind me here, you might see a box. I ordered a specialized piece of 80/20, and it's called Series 10/20. So it's 1 inch across one way and 2 inches across the other. And we're going to use it to replace this crossbar. So what I'm going to do today is open this up. I've never seen it, and we'll take a look at it, compare it to this piece. I may pause the video here if it takes a long time to get in this box. They used a lot of big heavy duty industrial staples on this. Alright, and there we have it. So this is 1 inch by 2 inch. You can see the similarities and the differences with the other 80/20. It's narrower. This is only 1 inch versus 1.5 inches, but it's wider this way. 2 inches versus 1.5 inches. What I'm considering doing is pyramiding these like that.
Okay, here's the piece that Dad's just finished, and this is analogous to the original piece. This is what used to be on there. So this is the rear assembly. This is the old rear assembly in steel. This is the new one in aluminum. These forks will come out and be moved to here. If you notice, it is a little wider. I have a whole lot of this 1.5 inch. And this is 1.5 inch square, so you had good places to weld the two pieces together. 2 inches wide, completely went across our aluminum 2-inch bar here. We've now cut this down. So what we'll have left to do, soon we'll put the bearing cups in here. Essentially we'll just rebuild what you see here. The bearing cups and the forks and all that will go here. And I'll rebuild the steering mechanism once we're ready to do that. So this piece will be back here. We'll take another piece of this plate. It will go inside and bolt up to this, and that's what holds the boat up. When you go down the road, the wheels are on the ground, so you have the force coming from the wheels up to the forks to this bar, and this all holds the boat up. When you transition to water, then the boat is holding up the weight and it picks this all up out of the water.
I'm going to reuse these forks from the original Quadyak. There are variables on forks that you have to match up 2 or 3 different things for the bike that you're going to use. And those variables are the width here, the size of the cutouts here, the length of your tube, your diameter of the tube. And since I already know that these forks match my wheels, then I knew what size to drill this, and we know the length. Instead of trying to go back and order some new ones that then would fit the wheels and all that, I just decided I would reuse these. They did get damaged in the fire. They were off of it. They need a little cleaning, but they're actually very high quality chrome steel, so they're perfectly fine to reuse. And, you know, a little nostalgia. A couple of original pieces from the original boat I think it'll be nice to have in a rebuild. While I'm right here, I might as well talk about the rear wheels. These are 5-spoke plastic mag wheels. So inside here there are 5 crossbars. So there's no spokes to tighten on this. This should retain its shape no matter what. So with that in mind, I could seal it up. So I cut some plastic rings. These are actually from the lids of 5-gallon buckets. Cut them to size inside this rim. Then I caulked in the edges of one of them, set it down, got the other one ready, goes right over the top of where this hub ring is here. Then I poured it full of AB expanding foam. Once it started to expand, shoved the other piece down, clamped it all the way around, waited for the foam to stop expanding and cool down a little bit, trimmed any excess that came out that I needed, and then caulked the outside of the other one. Now this one I haven't cut out yet. Where the tube stem is here, I'll cut a small access door, which I'll be able to remove and put back in, and that'll be to air up the tire. And I did 3 of them, so I had 2 that'll be on the Quadyak and a spare in case something goes wrong. The reason I make them this way is that this acts as a rudder when the Quadyak is in the water. And also, because it's now sprayed full of foam, has a little bit of flotation as well. It's not much, but it would float itself. So in case anything ever happened and one dropped off, this wheel will no longer sink.
Hey everybody, I didn't really record an outro for this, so in the meanwhile, enjoy this photo from a trip down Spring River outside Carthage, Missouri from a few years ago. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm Randy Ridings, and this is the Quadyak.